and thank you all for tuning in to this edition of the labs. So in this lab, I'll be managing Azure Storage. So there's three tasks I'll be looking to accomplish today. The first task is create and configure a storage account. The second is create and configure secure blob storage. And the third and final task for this lab is to create and configure secure Azure File Storage. So the first thing we'll do is obviously log in, and we're logged in right here. So next, we want to go to storage accounts. Alrighty, and so now we're here in the storage accounts, storage center, sorry about that. And what we're going to do now is go to create. So we're going to start off brand new. We want to make sure that our resource description, this is the correct one we want, followed by the resource group. This is the resource group we want as well. Yes, the resource group we want as well. And for the sake of this, I'll just say lab storage 1. We want to choose US East. Oh wait, someone already has that. We'll say lab storage 101. Another person has that. Let's see. All right, this one works. So now we'll make sure it's going to US East. And now the performance thing. So the difference between the standard and performance is basically the latencies. So if you were to go to premium, it would cost a little more, but at the expense of you have a lower latency, which means you can access stuff at a faster rate versus like standard. And usually a lot of people use standard. So for this, we're going to just use standard. And for the redundancy, we're going to use geo-redundancy. Now, there's 4 types of redundancies. I'll show you guys. So you have local. Local is basically, I'm going to explain it to you guys in like baby steps. Local is mainly like you have three copies. Azure usually saves everything by 3 copies, and the more you get expensive, the more they like start to distribute those copies. But locally is 3 copies stored in the same data center. Zone redundant. Zone redundant is there's 3 copies, but they're stored in 3 different data centers across the same region, followed by geo-redundant. Geo-redundant is 3 copies in the same data center, plus 3 copies, let's say, on the West US, since I'm on the East right now. And last but not least, you have geo-zone redundant storage. Geo-zone redundant storage is 3 copies in 3 different data centers within the same region, and then 3 different copies in 1 data center in the other region. But for this one, we're going to do geo-zone redundant. And then we're going to make read access available to data available in the event of regional unavailability. So next we're going to click on the advanced. So we're going to just hit the next button down here. Alrighty. So we're going to take everything as default. Make sure it requires secure transfer for REST API operation. So basically that option is just to ensure that data cannot be accessed or your storage cannot be accessed unless it's from a encrypted channel, for example, HTTPS on 443. That will work perfectly for here. And then you have your couple options, hot, cool, cold. Determine which one you want to do based on how frequently you will access that data. But for right now, we're going to leave it on hot. Then we're going to go to the networking tab. And from the public network access, we're going to disable it. So this tab or disabling this will basically make sure that it can't be accessed through the public. It will have to come through like a private endpoint or like a secure access from my end. Alrighty, and then we're going to look through here. And then next we're going to go to data protection. So in data protection, we see that everything here, Azure standard, let's say for deletion into the soft blob would be 7 days. So that's basically, let's say if I delete something, it will stay in that soft blob for 7 days before it's finally deleted. So if I wanted to bring it back out after I changed my mind on day 6, I could. So then now we'll go to the next. encryption. And then the encryption types we have here. So you have Microsoft managed keys. Basically, Microsoft will be managing the keys in terms of rotating the keys, or customer managed keys. Customers will rotate their own keys, basically absorbing Microsoft from doing that. Personally, I would love to just leave it on Microsoft for the time being right now. And then we're going to accept everything else like the defaults. So we're going to go to tags, and then we're going to go to review and create. And we want to make sure that everything is there that we want. Alrighty. Everything looks perfect. So we're going to hit create. And once the storage is created, then we'll go to the overview blade and see if there's any other things we need to change potentially. Alrighty, let's see. Gotta wait for this deployment to take place. Let's see if we can speed this up. Alrighty, it's been completed. So we're gonna go to resources. So this is the account that we, or not the account, but the storage container that we just like enabled, let's say. So now we're gonna go to overview. And from overview, we'll notice, let's see, the type of blob service we have, the type of file service, the queue service, the table service, security, and networking. This is basically like, let's say, the main thing of the storage. If you want to change anything, all you have to do is just click something and you can change it. So now we're going to go to the security tab, which is down here. I'll shorten all these so y'all can see better. So you have the security tab, and from here we'll go to the network. Alrighty. Public access. Let's see. So we see right here that public network access is disabled. That's basically what we wanted. So now we're going to go to manage, and we're going to change it down to enable. And then let's see, we're going to save it. And then let's see. Excuse me 1 second. Then we're looking for the IPv4 section. I might have been a little too fast. All right, there we go. Alrighty, then now we went to, so instead of going from enabling from all networks, we're going to go just select enable from selected networks. And we're going to keep this, and we're going to save the changes. 100.19.97.222. Alrighty, so basically what we just did is we enabled access from one particular IP address. Now we're going to go to the data manage. Let's see, data manage, and we're going to go to redundancy. So as we can see here, let me see, I'll try to scroll in better. Command plus plus. So because I picked geo zone redundant, we have copies here, copies there. So basically with Azure region pairs, it has to be about 300 miles away from each other, just so it can survive, let's say, bad catastrophic impacts. For example, if the whole East Coast or something got wiped out, data centers can be paired up with the West Coast, so we can always make sure that what happens on one coast doesn't happen on the other. Alrighty, so we're gonna come back out of here. Alright, so from here, from data manage, we're going to select lifecycle now. And lifecycle management, we're going to add a rule. And the rule is going to be move to cool. So then we're going to click next. Excuse me. And then we're going to say more than 30 days. So basically, you have 4 four tiers. Four tiers. You have the hot tier. The hot tier is if data you access frequently, you need to store and you can just retrieve it. That's the lowest costing option in terms of storing data. Followed by cool. Cool is you can store data. Let's say if you plan on retrieving it within 30 days, that's the perfect place for you. Followed by cold. Cold is up to 90 days in a sense. So if you like not frequently grabbing the data, but as well as like if you need it, you can grab it. Last but not least, archive. Archive is the most expensive in terms of accessing the data if you need it before the time it's supposed to be accessed. Archive is about 180 days. So you want to make sure if you put data in there, you're not really touching that data at all. But always, if you wanted to change the data or change like the tier, you can always change it. Alrighty, so we're gonna do this and then move to cool storage, and then we're gonna add it. Alrighty, so we just made sure move to cool was enabled, and just in case we need to retrieve the data, we can always do it. So now we're gonna go to task 2. Task 2 is to create and configure secure blob storage. So now we're gonna go back to the home tab. And we're gonna go back to the storage. I usually like going to the home tab just to show everybody like where I go, so you guys know what I'm accessing and stuff. Alrighty. Click this. We're gonna go to data and select containers. And in this container, I'm gonna create a new one. Alrighty. And I'm gonna just say this is data. Alrighty. So this is data, yep. And then we're gonna create that container. So as you can see right here, the container is created. So now what we'll do is on the far right, we're gonna hit these 3 buttons and then press access policy. Oops, excuse me. So in this policy right here, we can add something in terms of if we want a specific condition to happen. All we have to do is just add a policy to it. So for this, we're gonna go to, let's see, storage. Yeah. So we're gonna go to here, immutable storage base policy. That's basically something if we really don't want deleted or potentially change. So we're gonna switch this to time-based retention, and we're gonna set to 180 days. And now we're gonna hit save. Alright, so implementing this policy is basically defining what I want to happen for that particular container. So it says, excuse me, the retention interval is 180 days. So for 180 days, I want to make sure that I can be able to access that and keep it there for 180 days at least. Alrighty. So now we're going to manage blob uploads. So we're going to just refresh this. So here, we'll make sure that we press the advanced option again. We're going to click this, excuse me. And then, excuse me, I'm in the wrong place. Let me just go on storage. Let's see, storage accounts. And then, let's see. So we're going to just click any file particular for this. So I'm going to go back to where I just created that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to upload a file. So for this, we'll just upload, I'm currently studying for the AZ-104 right now. So I'll just select AZ-104 study guide. So we're going to upload that there. and then we're going to click advanced, and then block blob. We're going to make sure the blob type is block blob, excuse me. And then you also have page blob and append blob. But for this, we're going to pick block blob. We're going to pick 4 bytes as well as hot tier. And then upload to folder, we're going to put security test. And then for the encryption scope, we're going to say use existing default container scope. After that, we're going to click upload. So we're going to just refresh it just to make sure. Now we see that we have a folder within the container. So now we're going to go here. We're going to select this folder right here, and then we're going to click download. And just to show, this is the file that we have uploaded right here. Alrighty, so now we go back here, and then now we're gonna copy this, copy URL, and we're gonna paste it into a new website just to show that we can be able to access it. It is not to be able to access at this moment. Alrighty. Well, that's actually, for the purpose of this lab, that is actually what we want right now. So that shows that because we disabled the public access earlier in the lab, they're not able to access that. So if I was to send that link to somebody, they wouldn't be able to access that. What they would need to access is for me to retrieve the key that Microsoft has generated and copy that URL token and send it to them, and they will be able to access it. For example, I'll just show you right now. So generate SAS. So for all that, yes. And if they wanted to access it, I would have to send them this code right here, or not this code, but this URL. Send it to them, and they'll be able to generate it like that. Alrighty. Now we're in the process, the step of configuring limited access to blob storage. So we're going to go back to the file. Let's see. So this is the file right here that we wanted to go. And then like I just showed, we had a couple. If I was to just do this, you won't be able to access it, but just a refresher, just in case you guys missed it. Oh, I got it. My apologies. Got to click in here to generate it. Just in case you guys missed it, I'm going to do it one more time. So you can access it like that. So our third and final task for this lab is to create the file share and upload a file. So we're going to go back home. And then now we're going to navigate once again to our storage account. So in our storage account, we have all this right here. And then we're going to look in the, excuse me, 1 second. Alrighty. So this is our storage account that we have been using. And now we're going to go to File Shares. And from the File Shares, we're going to create a file named Share1. Share1. And then we're going to keep it transaction optimized just for the lowest transaction cost. And then we're going to move the backup now. And we're going to make sure that enable backup is here. So just in case something was to happen, a backup will always be in place. So after this, we're going to hit review and create. We're going to make sure that everything is where it should be. New file share. Yes, yes, and yes. And we're going to create it. Alrighty, so now We're going to go back home and do the same thing. Go to storage accounts. We're going to go to file shares right here. And then we see share one. So now what we're going to do is add a directory. And in this directory, 1 second. Okay, so this is the directory that we can add potentially just in case we need something to be in, let's just say, in place. So now we're going to click upload. Click the upload button. Just for the sake of this, we're going to keep using the same thing, AZ104 study guide. I'm going to click the upload file. Alrighty, then it actually uploaded now. So the last thing we're going to do is restrict network access to the storage account. So we're going to go home, and now we're going to search for virtual machine. So for virtual machines, we're going to hit create. Let's see, virtual machine. We're going to name it VM1. No, I'm sorry. What should we name it? VNet1. Whoa. I'm actually in the wrong place. I apologize about that. We're going to go to virtual networks. We're going to hit create. And we're going to name this VNet1. We're going to look at the parameters. So we see the basics. Okay, we're going to make sure it's in subscription 1, Azure Research Group 14. Alrighty, next. We're going to go to security. Alrighty, let's see. We're going to leave everything as default right now. And next we're going to go to IP addresses. Look at this. We're going to see this is the range where the IP can be accessed in terms of the virtual network. So yes, it's going to be accessed between 10.0.0.0 and 10.0.255.255. So that seems fine to me. And then let's see. Yep, everything seems fine. We're going to go to tags. We don't need a tag. Go to view and recreate. All right, so the validation has been passed where we can be able to create this. And now we're going to create it. Alrighty, so just to sum up what I've accomplished this lab, I've created storage accounts. I've created blob storage as well. I've shown that if you want to access, let's just say, a particular resource inside a folder or inside a container, you have to make sure you request like the generated token for that specific file rather than just copying the URL file. The way my Azure is set up is you have to generate a SAS token or you need a private link so you can access it. My storage account wasn't accessible from a public standpoint. So for the private standpoint, you need to add the generated token to the browser, then it will be allowed to access that resource. And that's, to me personally, like a big thing in terms of applying, let's say, the concepts of security and the way society is now. A lot of hackers are trying to get into your system, so make sure you always have to generate the SAS token or use Microsoft Entra as they sign in. And thank you, and that's all I have for you guys. Have a great one.